But I just thought that, like, is she doing this for a storyline? I don't know. Like, Tamara doesn't need a storyline because she's not going to be fired. She's not going to be fired. Love her or hate her, she's not going to be fired. So again, it's like when people say Kyle and the divorce and Morgan and blah blah blah. It's like, Kyle isn't doing this. Like Crystal Kung Minkoff could have done that. She needed a storyline. By the way, Alexia Napola, I mean, is it real? Is it not real? I said for months, I don't think this guarantees Alexia coming back to Miami. I know she's filming. Oh, and we have to talk about Stephanie Soshiji. You realize there's a newbie on Miami that's filming who is Nicole's baby daddy, Anthony, with all that money, his ex. And man, I am obsessed with this girl. And yes, I have from sources that this is the real reason why Nicole left. This Stephanie, I think she's 39. She's not even 40. She has like one of the largest Birkin collections. Her man is so flashy. And the thing is, Nicole never would go there. Nicole never would go there. She was on brand because she had so much money. She was a doctor, smart, looked the part, but Nicole wasn't, how can I put this? Batshit, you know? And I mean that in the best way. This Stephanie Sociology, from what I've seen on Instagram, she could play with Mary. She could play with Lisa. She could hang out with Meredith. She's that type of ilk, as the kids say. She's from that ilk. So this Stephanie Sociology, who is in her 30s, she's pretty. She seems like she wants to be famous. She talks about the Birkins. Her man has tons of money. And she dated fucking Nicole's ex. So you talk about what's going on in the OC. They're all dating each other. My sources tell me this is why Nicole left. Miami, but she's gonna be good. Oh God, we'll talk about her. Go and look her up. But my point actually is, I don't think Tamara needed to secure a storyline. I think Tamara was coming back regardless. So I get what like everyone is saying that now she has a storyline and blah blah blah, but I don't think, I think it's, yeah, it certainly helps with that. But I think it's less about that personally and more about like sympathy and kind of explaining away all of your bad behavior. Again, I don't know if Bravo is just going to go down this road until they like investigate it. I don't know. But again, we went down a road of fake cancer and here we are, and nobody seemed to care or want to investigate that. So what the hell do I know? What the hell do I know? Yeah, it's not bad. It will help her storyline. Look, now Kelly Dodd has said something, and we'll get into all of the responses. Is this like, is she doing this for job security? Okay, I got a bunch of stuff to say about that. Now, first of all, let me make a few things clear. Autistic people, if you're autistic, you are protected under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Okay, that's a federal law. It's for equal rights for people with disabilities, and autism is protected under that act. So if you have autism, yes, you are protected. Let's just because people are, Kelly Dodd's implying that she now can't be fired. Let me make it very clear. Let me make it very, very clear. First of all, employment is employment at will most of the time. Okay. Someone could be fired for any reason. You cannot be fired for being gay. You cannot be fired for being black. You cannot be fired for being a minority. You cannot be fired for being autistic. You cannot be fired for having a disability. You can be fired for not performing your job. Now, if you're in one of these protected classes, like this is a lot of McSwiney's lawsuit, which is heading to court. If you're in one of these protected classes, you can sue someone, and the burden of proof is on you to prove that you were fired for being autistic, for having a disability, for being gay, for being an alcoholic. You were fired for this, as opposed to you were fired because you did not perform your job. Burden of proof is on you. So Tamara can easily be fired. It doesn't excuse your case. It doesn't, It doesn't mean you don't have a case if you're fired with others, but if there's a layoff, Leah got fired along with a woman named Luann, a woman named Sonia, a woman named Ebony, and a woman named Ramona. If it's a wiping of the slate, if it's even one other person, it is a factor in your case. We would always worry when I ran HR, and this is why people hire me on the weekends for business consulting, because I've done so much of this. We would always worry when we had our layoffs, and we'd be like, we're laying off, 9 people. And yeah, two of them are in a protected class, and one of them has already made noise that, this and that. And then we're like, we're doing it anyway. This person sucks, and we're going to lay them off, and they're not going to sue us. And we're going to take our chances because we actually have real documentation here. And we're not firing them because they're in a protected class. We're firing them because they suck at their job. So I understand what Dodd is saying, but just be very clear. So that means that Tamra's not going to get fired. If it's her time to go, she'll be fired. I don't think it's her time to go. So there you go. I think that's a little, misconstrued. Do I believe Tamara's on the spectrum? I guess we're going to bring it back before we talk about some other RHOC hot topics, which will be, of course, now we are in our afternoon chat. Do I believe it? No, I do not believe that Tamra Judge, Tammy Sue Waddle is on the spectrum. I do believe it is, maybe for all of the above. Storyline, sympathy, to try to explain her bad behavior, to try to protect herself and become in a protected class. Yeah, sure. Yes, 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 and yes. Sure, yes to everything. I think that's it. Do I believe a therapist really told her this? I don't know. I'm not saying that I believe a therapist didn't tell her this, but I think my problem is also with therapy and what therapists say. And I'd like to know who this therapist is. So, regardless, I don't think you just blurted out like this on a podcast. I got to give some credit to Theodora Mellenball because I thought that you know, I thought she handled this well. What do you say when you're on a podcast where a lot of people are listening if someone's like, hey, I'm on the spectrum? So, I mean, I think she said, oh, Tam, oh, Tam. So there you go. I mean, is a therapist telling you this? I don't know. I don't know. And I do think that this is unfortunately the world we live in. And I think that I think this is irresponsible. I think this is irresponsible. I think it's obnoxious. I don't think it's not right for people that really have autism, that really have children or family members, brothers, sisters with autism. I think this is irresponsible and I don't like it. That's just me. That's just me. I don't buy it. I think Tamra can look you in the eye. I don't think she has social anxiety. I don't think she has all these other things it says it has. No, I think she's great at the job. She's great with sarcasm. She's not afraid of anything. I think she's really smart and she's good at the job. I don't believe it. Okay. Now, before we move on, should we just read some of these responses? Because everyone has weighed in on this. I have really bad news for Sarah later in the week when she wants to talk about all this. It's going to be a very quick chat because we're doing it here. This is way longer than I thought I would go. But so Vicki Gumbelson came out and said, this is disgusting and shame on her. She's looking for attention and sympathy. It's no different than Brooks saying he had cancer. Well, there you go. It's no different than Brooks saying he had cancer for sympathy and lying to me. Well, okay, Vicki, let's double down on that. Were you lied to, girl, or were you in on it? Meghan King Edmonds seems to think you were in on it.